Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Real Business Roundtable. Shout out to Starbucks.
Our Jocko today.
No Jockos today. They are in my refrigerator. Today's episode is called Optimizing Revenue. What does that mean? That means when you're in business, you have to make the decision on how you are going to accept payment and what kind of terms you are going to give the client. I know everybody's different. Every industry is different, but sometimes it doesn't hurt to be creative with how you accept payment from a client. Now, you have to take into consideration what would make it easier for a client. You have a lot of prima donnas out there that do certain industries and give me all the cash now. You, my friend, are going to learn the hard way. That's not how it's done. That is not. Make it easy. Make it easy. You don't have to be like that. Make it easy for the client. Oh, ma'am, sir, we can structure this in a monthly fee, sort of like a subscription. Set it up like this. Make it easy for you and your fucking wallet.
It's at the end of the day, it's all about the revenue. And a lot of people, especially for services, offerings, stuff like that, not a product like a car. Obviously, it's a little bit different, right? There's only a handful of options, and those options have been around forever, and they're not going to change. You either pay for it in cash or you finance it, right? There's other options, obviously. But when it comes to like products, consumer products, services, stuff like that, the subscription model has taken over, right? It's become huge. And for business owners, subscription models are very important. If you're, let's say, you provide a product and there's maintenance to it, subscription models for that maintenance. Knife company, subscription model for the sharpening. There's some fucking pest control, right? Lawn care, general stuff like that. You could even do it for roofing somehow. There are ways to add these subscription models within your business that will generate more revenue. But at the end of the day, when it comes to actually making that first purchase, those financing options make it easier, right? Those smaller payments make it easier. If you're in consulting, service, marketing, stuff like that, you don't want to make someone pay all up front. You're essentially just deleting money off of the table for yourself, and inadvertently, you don't know it, and that's why we're talking about it. Why would you charge someone, let's say a program over a year, let's say, just for an example, let's say a consulting program or a marketing program or something within those lines. Let's say it's you're doing it over a year, right? And you charge way up front. We've had people who do this still, and I don't know why. Why wouldn't you
make it easy?
Make it easy and almost don't sell it like this, but create your own financing.
No, but
you're not charging massive amounts up front to get certain things done. You're breaking it over a weekly payment, a monthly payment. That's a lot easier. And
I think some people do this because they know they have a shitty product.
That could be
and they're just like, whoa, like it's like,
genuinely. Because at the end of the day, and for those people, you don't want to, it's going to come down to fighting chargebacks, and people are going to ask for refunds, and you're going to have something in the fine lines that says no. That's them, right? So we have multiple businesses that we have done that mistake where we charge up front. Not for something that's like a year-long service or anything like that, but
it just creates, and our reasoning for that is in the early stages of our other company, there was a huge upfront cost, right? We had to cover that nut, but we've kind of implemented a way that it's nice and easy now, and it's on a per basis, right? It's nice and easy. The key is to make it easy for the client.
Easy. Not only is it to easy, but it's also about cash flow as well. When you have all these clients who pay up front, there is zero cash flow. There's no way it's easier to monitor it, but there's no cash flow. You have all this cash up front, kind of like you're selling, like you're in real estate, right? You sell a house, you get a bunch of cash. What about the following next 6 months? What are you going to do? When you build up a book of business, and instead of collecting cash way up front, you're collecting it in steps or whatever, in some sort of subscription model, you have constant cash coming in, which is good for a business. Now, I was talking about financing your offering, right? So instead of charging people all up front, we did something recently that was like, I think 12 grand, and they asked for a bunch of cash up front, and we were like, let's break it apart.
Oh yeah. They were trying to get way more back in the day. I didn't work with them like 2 years ago because they were asking for an astronomical amount of money up front. And I'm like, what the hell? What? Why? I'm like, this is a 90-day program. Why? Oh no. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, no. I'm like, this is weird. It was just weird. It seemed like, I don't know, like a cash grab. I mean, try, dude. I've done some like crazy stuff where someone's like stuck in a contract for like maybe 2 or 3 more months. I go, you know what? Let's break ground. Let's figure it out in a couple months. That way we're engaged. We got progress. We're moving in the right direction. Or sometimes if someone's stuck in an agreement and they're paying X, I'll give them a little bit of easement in those first 3 months to make it easy. That's the key, is you make it easy and convenient.
That's
and you
value.
You give a shit. It's nothing wrong with giving a shit.
Now I will add to that. When you are a service-based business and you're charging a boatload up front, right? I know people who do it, they do it successfully, but you're almost commoditizing yourself because they see the full amount up front. And then they base that, then they see what they're getting.
It's psychological.
It's very psychological to the consumer.
Yeah, it's like $10 versus $9.99. You know, it's psychological. That 1 penny difference is like psychologically. Ooh, I can do that. $10, hell no.
Now, what sounds better? What sounds better? $12,000 or $1,000 a month for a business if the value's there. Mm-hmm. Not only do you now have fucking cash flow, you're not fighting about the first charge, you're not having to dish out discounts, you're providing a value at a price that is more comfortable for the consumer. Now this, there's gonna be some people out there, I do this for that and I have no problem. Great, that's great. This is different case scenario, different, there's a lot of different markets and offerings that this would fit with, and there's some that won't, that it won't fit with at all, and that's fine.
And remember, the higher the ticket your product, the more problems you're gonna have, and the more scrutiny you're gonna have. You gotta price yourself fairly. You can't, and then if you price yourself on the higher end, you better deliver massive value. That is insanely important here. So if you want to optimize your revenue, think about breaking it up for the client. Think about making it easy for them, right? No stress, nice and easy, right? So it's not, oh my God, I had to pay all this huge cash up front, and they're more in line with having scrutiny. Maybe the spouse doesn't agree with it. Oh my God, and they kind of guilt them. And I've seen so many different businesses go through different things. It's always best to optimize your revenue in a way that is in line with your client. Now, if you're dealing with multi-billion-dollar clients and shelling out $50K up front isn't a big deal, okay. But when you're dealing with,
but even in that case,
but you gotta figure out. Okay, you gotta identify who you're dealing with. What is the personality of this person? Is that a big deal to them? Because we've talked to people where they, I've met some people that come in swinging with some crazy numbers, and I'm like, okay, dude, he pulled up in a fucking Toyota. Nothing against Toyotas, but like I've had some people throw some crazy numbers. Even though it's exciting, I say, could you sustain that for 18 months? Could you? You're sitting here in a Starbucks flexing. You're flexing, right? Maybe you're kind of a modest dude. You're not into cars, and maybe you have a bunch of investments. Who knows? I don't know. But I keep it real with people, and I say, listen, this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is an ongoing, living, breathing effort to try to grow your business. It's not a 1 month, let me dip my toe. No, I will walk away. I will not even work. I won't even take. Someone says 1 month, I'm out. You're not serious. If you want to grow your business and your doors are open to accept customers, then we can work together, right? And this goes for any business. You have a timeline of when you work with somebody. Sometimes it's ongoing. Sometimes it's consulting. Sometimes it's services. Sometimes it's fucking landscaping, and you're dealing with that client every single fall, spring, summer, winter, whatever. You have to understand when that customer says that they want a laundry list of services and they're throwing some big, unusually big numbers at you. Oh yeah, my budget's XYZ. And you're like, always push back and say, we'd appreciate your business. We'd love to do this with you. I just want to see, do you foresee any issue with being able to sustain this? Well, why? Why do I have to sustain it? Well, it's a living, breathing, ongoing thing. It's just like people have to mow their lawn. You got to mow your lawn continuously. You have to manage your social media continuously. You got to do all this other stuff continuously. So there are ongoing services, support, and consulting that go on indefinitely until a customer or client stops. So you have to have a moment of realism with them and just go, hey, no disrespect. This is unusually bigger than normal with these types of situations. What are your goals? What do you hope to achieve with this crazy, ridiculous budget? And I had one guy, he came up, he partnered up with some tech company that wasn't properly positioned in the marketplace. And it was supposed to compete with a public company that, if I said the name, it was up there, big name. And he goes, listen, our equipment is much better, much faster, more efficient, saving energy. It sounded too good to be true. He's like, we're going to brand it this, we're going to do this. And he was getting some decent sized clients.
Yeah.
But when I met with him, he didn't have an office. He didn't have a legitimate, in my opinion, a legitimate place. He met me at a Starbucks and I go, why are you throwing these numbers at me, man? I don't know where's this coming from? Because I always say, when a client has a very, very big budget, I always try to uncover, dude, this isn't a place to flex. Be real with me. What is sustainable to move towards your goal? Don't come in here and, hey. It is about long-term of building equity, long-term strategy, long-term improvement. As long as your doors are open for business, you should be working towards progress. So you have to, when you're in a situation like that, in a sales situation, think about, okay, I'm going to optimize my revenue as a consultant, as a client, but I'm also not going to fucking go off the charts and completely have this guy stressed out because he just shelled out a bunch of cash up front. So you have to pace it in a way that it's easy, it's sustainable for the client, and it's a win-win situation. It's easy on his pocket, and it's better for your cash flow as a company, a consultant, whatever, right? Even if you sell, let's say, construction services, unless the other person doesn't get approved for financing, but you know that your cost for installation, your cost of goods is X, and say you're doing really good, and you might want to take a couple risks here and there with someone, try to help them out. You install it, you get a deposit, cover your costs, and tell the customer, hey, pay me over the next 4 months. I'll come pick up a check once a month, blah, blah, blah. Make it easy for you, right? Someone's like, hey, I can swing $5,000 a month to repair my roof or to replace my roof. Okay, we'll do it over 4 months. Give me $5,000 down, take care of it, lock down the contract, put the term.
I know a lot of people who do that. As long as you have the system and the infrastructure to make that happen, which it's not hard to do today. It's really easy to do. The
people that do, they get it. They're smart. They know. Yeah. They know how to do business. But the people who are like, hey, if you're going to approve financing, I'm out. That just be easy with the client. Remember, optimize your revenue, make it easy for the customer, and it's a win-win situation.
In order to optimize your revenue, change the way you price things, change the way you charge. That's it. Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Like, subscribe. Catch you next time. Peace out.